And we're back on Island Life Live. It's been nearly 50 years since Hawaii last had a fire marshal, but earlier this year, that critical public safety role was restored when Governor Green appointed Dori Booth to the position.
And she joins us now. A very big aloha to Fire Marshal Booth. Aloha. Thank you so much for being with us. We're actually very excited to get to know you.
Yeah.
We were both excited to share with our viewers when the appointment was initially made. So cool. Now we get to know a little bit about you. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, so I grew up in central Illinois in a really small town just outside of Peoria. My dad was a firefighter, so this runs very much in the family. Even my grandfather was in the fire service back home with volunteer agencies. From there, it always kind of stemmed. I always knew I wanted to be in the service in some capacity, and like a dad, you know, he tried to talk me out of it for a while, and finally realized that it just wasn't ever gonna end. So from there, went on to college originally for fire protection engineering in Kentucky, and then during my senior internship, I went out to Arizona where I decided to stay put after working for Chief Alan Bernasini as his intern. So stayed there for 17 years before I went up to Sedona Fire as their fire marshal, and now I'm here.
So. Wow, so Illinois, Kentucky, Arizona, how are you liking it here in Hawaii?
I love it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm getting to prettier country. I get getting to prettier countryside the closer I get to retirement.
So. Oh, I love that.
That's so true. Now, in the intro, we mentioned that we haven't had a fire marshal for like almost 50 years. Can you share what the responsibility of a fire marshal is for our viewers?
Yeah. So every state is different. So I rounded out the 50 states this summer after 1978 was the last one. So here in Hawaii, it's similar to a lot, the State Fire Council and all the advisors that help create the bill. So some of the heavy duties are inspections of state buildings, certifications and training for inspectors, investigators statewide, assisting with fire investigations, inspections, helping with the wildland and urban interface, identifying those high-risk zones, bringing in additional training, and really helping bring all of the great work that's been happening across the islands together into a collaborative effort with a solid end goal in mind. So it's more of a collaborative with enforcement abilities, but really in our world, with the 3 E's, educate, engineer, and enforce. Enforcement's really that last thing that we want to do.
Right.
We want to educate you until you can, and so you understand the why. Because if we just make you do it, as soon as I walk out, you're going to turn around and put it right back as where it was.
Right.
So education, educating, engineering, and enforcement.
Yes, ma'am.
Those are the 3 E's. I got you. And you know, you do bring a lot of experience. That's the 4th E. A lot of experience to this position. Given the Lahaina fire and the recent brush fires, is there anything that you see differently about Hawaii compared to the other states, things that we need to be more mindful of?
So we're truly on islands. We don't have that immediate assistance from our neighbor agencies like we do on the continent. So for here, our agencies really are the first 24 to 48 hours minimum for bigger fires on their own with whatever they have available on our specific islands. So for our viewers and everybody, it's like we really need to be more cognizant of where we're doing our cookouts, you know, and even in light of fireworks, you know, we've got, and firecrackers, we've had a lot of rain recently, but we're still really dry. You know, it takes a long time for that water to get brought up into the vegetation and things. So even right now, over the holidays, we're still at a really high risk for wildfire. So, you know, if you can avoid using firecrackers, that's great. But if you're going to use them, making sure you've got those garden hoses and fire extinguishers and buckets of water to be able to put them in just in case.
Wow, I like
Be ready.
We're educated right there. Thank you so much, Fire Marshal. Now, you carry, of course, an important kuleana or responsibility. What are you hoping to accomplish as our Fire Marshal for Hawaii?
So one of the unique opportunities we have here is being the last state without one, and having an amazing network of other state fire marshals is really looking to see what best practices and lessons learned from them are, and using the national standards to do this thing right out the door. Very few people in history get the opportunity to create a government entity like this from the ground up. So over the next year, my goal is to really evaluate what we have happening in the state, going line by line through the statute of the expectations and the implied tasks, and then building out staffing accordingly. So that way we can be a less reactive and more proactive fire prevention, and that'll trickle down to the counties too. Nationwide, fire prevention is usually the first to get cut, and they're the last ones to kind of get staffed up because we're not on the big red truck responding, or yellow trucks here responding to incidents. Typically speaking, we're after the fact. But
But knowing what we've already been through, you are vital. You
Yes.
are vital, absolutely. Well, we
you.
thank you so much for joining us. Fire Marshal Dori Booth, again, that's education, engineering, enforcement, and lots of experience right here. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Fire Marshal. All right, another break for us right now, but as we head to break, again, it's Foreign Language Day. So many of us use apps like Duolingo. What's the one you use, sis?
I use Pimsleur.
Pimsleur. There's all these apps that are available to us to learn these foreign languages. So we're going to focus on Duolingo, if you don't mind.